There we are. That was quick, wasn't it? Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Chandlers Cottage. It is 8 a.m. Sunday morning here, and I hope you're all really well. Wherever you are in the world, you might be watching us on Saturday evening, you might be watching us later in the day, or you might be watching us on YouTube, because I will get this up on YouTube straight away for you. So welcome. Today is like a nice little quiet kind of stitch along, really nothing to be worried about or stressed at all. So who's here so far? Good morning, Donna. Good morning, Glennis. Good morning, Bridget. Good morning, Yvonne. Lovely that you could join me this morning. Oh, happy Easter to you too. It's happy Easter. It is Sunday, isn't it? Happy Easter. Today's word, search word, which you don't have to search for much today, but the search word is, of course, bunny. We had Easter last week, so we have to have bunny today. And so we're going to go through three things today. We're going to go through, hello, Bobby. Good morning, Louise. Good morning, Rosemary. Lovely to see you. We're going to go through three things. One, I haven't done my homework on Weekend at Melba, but we're going to talk about cutting Jason's beautiful border print to make it work really well in Weekend at Melba. So I'll show you that pattern soon. We're going to have a look at the Sturt pea flower blocks in Midnight Melba. So we're going to take a little step sideways and head out to those, because a lot of you I know are working on piecing your checkerboard borders at the moment. So I thought, well, we'll head out and we'll get those done as well. And then we're kind of putting off fussy cutting the big border print a little bit longer. And then also today I'm going to start work on a piece for our Farewell Melba exhibition, which is mid-September. A lot of people have been asking me, how do I exhibit? How do I come? I'm going to be giving out all that information at the end of May. We don't want to do it too early, but just know I'm going to need your beautiful Melba piece, whether it's a bag, cushion, table runner, Christmas decoration, quilt, anything that you'd like to do. But we're going to send all that information out to you and share it at the end of May. And a lot of you already know I want to get through our Creative Escape event in May, which is on the 24th, and have a look at the layout of the hall while we have it full of all our lovely quilters that are joining us on that day. And then I'll be able to finalise all of the ticking information and the exhibition layout. So that's what we're doing. But that's what I'm going to work on today, is just start something on that using one of my designer templates and show you how I'm fussy cutting down. I'm looking at it, showing you how I'm going to fussy cut it down. So that's what we're going to be doing. So there's three things that we're going to work on. Okay, hang on, I've got to put the glasses on. Still haven't found the glasses. They're still AWOL. Robbie has fixed these ones and they're a little bit better than they were last week. Yes, Bobby, look, I got an emoji bunny from Bobby, Rob.
I told you I should have put them on.
I know you wanted to put them on the sign. Anna Maria, I can see that you're watching. Welcome to Chandler's Cottage. Lovely that you could join us this morning. Hello, Jane. Good morning, Glennis. Sandy, good morning to you. Diane Basilman, I can see is in the building. Pauline Boyke is there. Thank you very much. Ah, yes. Yes, no, she's not here. She's still inside. We do have Priscilla Bianchi from Guatemala in the building, but she's taking it easy this morning. Glennis, thank you so much. Yeah, and finally watched us live. That's lovely. Good morning, Denise. Thank you for your kind words. Good morning, Sylvia, Wendy. Sue McGonchi's in the building. Thank you, Sylvia. Judy Rogers, has got her fabric. Oh, that's lovely. I'm so pleased it's there. Morning, Carol and Chris. Everyone's joining us. Morning, Angela. Quick question, Angela. A discussion about poplar trees has arisen. Have yours all finished changing colour in bright yet, or are they just starting? Because ours down here are just kind of going yellow and gone really quick. So please tell us what it's like in bright at the moment. Donna Spong, good morning. Are you in Tassie? Are you in Tassie, or are you somewhere else? Elizabeth Schultz, good morning to you. Oh, it's lovely you're all here. Okay, so a bit of a stitch along. We've got, this is, if you haven't seen it before, this is Midnight Melba. This is Emma Bowman's beautiful quilt that we're working on in one of three colourways. So we're working on it in the black and pink, ivory and pink that I'm doing, or grey and pink. So we've got 3 different combos on the go at the moment. So this is it here, and today I'm going to work on this little strip across here. I don't know what to do first. You know what? I'm going to do Weekend at Melbas first, because it's a bolt that's sitting here on the counter with my homework I haven't done, which is piecing my diamond block borders. I'm so sorry. They've been sitting with the sewing machine on. Look, see? So I will get them done before we talk about it again. No, that does not mean Christmas. Don't be cheeky. It will be done. Okay. This is the beautiful Daydreams fabric. So if you haven't seen this, I've tagged the fat quarter bundles this morning under the word bunny, but if you pop 2DD, 2DD, into the search window at the top, it'll bring this up in this colorway and in the beautiful winter blues, kind of periwinkle colors. So as you know, Jason's signature border print is 4 10-inch wide border strips that he does these, and then he has lots and lots of different patterns and things that you can do with them. So this is his baby here. I also put under Bunny this morning our spring basket kit, which is a great little way to use Jason's border stripe. So that's in there for you to have a look at today as well. But it's just stunning. Now, you need 3 meters of this to do. I'm laughing because I'm a bit worried. I'm going to have to air freight in 3 meters for me to finish my my Weekend at Melbas, because I haven't cut my piece and we're running low on stock. So that's why I'm laughing. So I've just cut a little piece off this morning to show you. Rob, can you stick that aircon on for me for a minute, please? There's an overhead shot. There we go. So if I hold this out for you here, can you see that okay? Yes, you can. So this is what I'm talking about here, these beautiful big long borders that we want to use Jason's fabric for in this version, using Daydreams instead of Melba. So this is the bit I haven't done. This is my homework. I still have to do my diamond borders. We will come back. We've talked a little bit about this, but we'll come back and fussy cut down our center pieces at a later date. But I want to get this sorted for you today, and also these cross-section sashings that are here in the pattern. So what I did with Melba, I cut the large ones for the outer border here, and then we came through and used the small and the medium ones for the cross sashing between the blocks. So let's have a look at Jason's fabric and work out how we're going to convert to do this. Good morning, Linda. Good morning, Glennis. Morning, Cecily. Thank you for joining me. Linnell's here as well. Irma's here. Good morning. Have I missed anybody? Angela. Everything has changed and are dropping leaves very quickly. I thought that might be the case, Ange. So it's that long, hot summer, and our poor trees don't know what to do. People keep sending me photographs of their daffodils flowering. They're so confused. Look at this. Just lovely. Okay, so just to show you again, Jason's come across, and you can see from the bottom of this, let's call it a solid border stripe in this whole piece here, from here to here is exactly 10.5 inches. So what I'm going to suggest is that you actually use all of it for the outer borders, because out here on these edges, it doesn't matter if they're wider each way. It's not going to affect your dimensions. So why not use the entire beautiful section of border? I just think you have to. I really do. So you would come down and cut 1/4 inch out at this end, maybe just a little over, so that you're going to have this right on this edge here or this edge here. It's going to be up to you to decide if you want your flowers facing inwards or outwards. I went inwards with Melba, but you might decide to change it, because this is sort of a more informal, softer design on this border print. So we'll come out just over 1/4 here, and then we can take it kind of right up, on this one, right up to maybe 10.5 here, and leave enough for the next one to be cut. So grab this and I'm going to cut these little sections. I know some of you now get excited when you see me messing with bits of fabric. Someone has said it to me. They go, "Whoa, that's going to go in a Pam creative pack later." Just chill. We just don't know yet. It may not. I might use it for something else, but you're probably right. Okay, so now I'm going to come up to 10.5 here. So that now is going to be the width of my outer border here. So you can either face inwards or we can go outwards. I'm inclined to say that I might go outwards. It's going to depend a lot, isn't it, on what I decide to do for my binding. If my binding is going to be just an ivory off-white, like here, then I would probably put the hard edge out here. If I'm using for my sashing the cream or an ivory, which yeah, I might do here, then in that case I would have this inside because I can have a coloured binding on the outside. But either way, that's how wide my outer border is going to be, which is going to be lovely. Then for the others, they are both smaller, and it's important that you stick to that width for these measurements because it's all about making sure this all still fits. We still need all of this to fit within this width, or it's going to change the whole border and it's going to throw out our diamond border in here. So it's quite nice because in the original pattern that outer border is 8.5. Now it's going cut, now it's going to be 10.5, so it's going to be 2 inches wider on each side. Oh, it's going to be big. Now for the two wider ones, it's 6.5. So let's have another look here. So now we can decide whether we want to use like a section out of the middle here, whether you want to have this stripe in it as well. I think I want mine to be soft because again I haven't decided on my sashing that's going to go in between, but I'm thinking it might be our ombre, periwinkle ombre, for something really different. So I'm going to use an area within here. So if I come down and chop, heaven forbid, but I'm going to chop off that little stripe, just line it up with my board. So I'll take that off there like that, and this needs to be 6.5. So you can see we're going to get a really quite good coverage of all of the design. Right, so that there is going to be one of these, so that's going to sit in between, and that's going to be lovely in between that. And the next one is narrower again. So the narrow ones sit out on these edges here, and they need to be 5, and so that has been cut from our smaller border. Now to make it look a little bit different to this one, this time I'm going to include a fair bit of this lighter area without the flowers up the top. So maybe I sort of want to come in maybe 1/4 of an inch showing above that last top leaf there. So if I sit it about there, I'll come through with my cutter like that, move it up a little bit, and then I'll cut this through here. So you can see there's lots of room to play around. Now when you work on your Midnight Melba pattern as well, there'll be a section where it will actually explain to you that you have a fair bit of 2 of the borders left over. So there's enough for to use 2 of them to do that outer border down each side, and then you'll cross cut through 1 or 2 halfway into 3 of the next 2 up to do these short ones, and then you've got a fair bit left. So what you can do with these is make yourself a couple of gorgeous cushions. So keep that in mind, because it'd just be so gorgeous to have this down one side on a pillow slip. So just remember, it won't go to waste. I'm sure you'll use it, but you'll have enough to make a couple of really lovely cushions or pillow slips to go with it. So this is going to be our top border here. So again, I'll have to decide facing inwards or outwards. So say that's facing inwards, so that's going to be this one across here. And then we'll have our big squares in the middle with that gorgeous kaleidoscope print that's very reminiscent of Melba, and then further down that's going to be our inner border one here. And then we're going to have a big border with that on the outside. And then in between, the homework that I haven't done is all sitting here. So these are the colours from that fat quarter bundle that I am using to do all of my little diamond squares in between. So it's going to be really, really light and pretty. And I can tell you right now, it doesn't go on our bed. So I think, you know, it might just have to sneak in on the edge of a Melba exhibition just to show how the patterns can be used for other prints as well. And I'm hoping to get the original Midnight Melba quilt, no, Weekend at Melba's quilt back, so we can hang it at the exhibition as well. So I'm going to pop that under there. By September, this fabric will all be gone. So who knows? But I'm sure it's a really nice pattern. And given that we know that we can adapt all of Jason's border prints into it, what that means is that every time he brings out a new collection, we're going to be able to use it to make this quilt. So it's going to be a really flexible, versatile quilt design for us to use moving forward, which I didn't even think about when we did the Melba one. It was just about Melba, but now I can see we can use it for lots of different lovely things. So that would be great. Anyway, if you want to have a closer look at that, I've popped it under Bunny, and you can get up close and have a look at the big quilt design. Blow it up on the screen with the image and have a look at it, and just see. You may have been compelled to buy a beautiful multiple border stripe in the past, and it's just sitting there waiting for you to use it. So if you've got 3 meters, you're good to go. There's also no reason why you can't use Under the Australian Sun excuse me, to do it as well. But what you would do, actually, Rob, can you grab me a just a bolt of border stripe UTAS for me, and I'll show the girls. See the frown on his face.
Any colour.
Any colour. About the second bay in right there. It's right there. The frown. What you would actually do is you wouldn't cut with the border stripe. You would cross cut it like we do with Matilda's medallion. You would go sideways, so you'd have all the little different flowers showing. So you would actually cut that way. So on the outer you would have. So if you've got a border print that's got smaller stripes on it like this, you might want to look at running it that way instead of that way down the edge. All right. And then the same with those sashing pieces. You could actually go crosswise, or you could cut them wider out to here and have them running across. Use anything for it. It'll all work. It will all work. Right, so then we've also got Midnight Melba on the go, which is this one, as I said, that we've got up here. And we'll have a look at these sturt flowers, and I'll just see what I missed. Good morning, Cheryl. She says, good morning, Rob. Good morning, good morning. Genevieve, good morning. How are you? Have you got much border stripe left? Genevieve has, at Cadena Craft, she's got daydreams. She's got it all. It's all happening down there. Across there, sorry. Not down there. Across there. South Australia. All right. This is Midnight Melba. Emma's probably getting pretty excited about getting her quilt back. Do you think? I think she might be. So today we're going to have a look at this little border out here. And I have started cutting some of mine. I guarantee you're going to turn the page and you'll be on fire. You'll be up to this bit and you'll go, oh. Because there's a lot of little cutting bits to do for this section of the quilt. Yeah, there's lots of little bits. So I was a bit cheeky. I went through and put under the word bunny this morning all of our little creative grid rulers, because I have restocked them all. So just to show you, you will not regret buying a small Creative Grids square ruler, or the 6.5 for that matter, because they grip. And so when you're doing lots and lots of little cutting pieces, to me there is nothing more challenging than trying to cross cut 1 and 1.5 inch strips with a big ruler. And this isn't even the normal one we use, is it? We're usually on about a 24.5 by 6.5. So you will, this is worth it. Now, to me, this is also what I would call a chewy checkout item, because it's small and it's never going to impact the weight of your freight and the cost of your postage. And for Genevieve, what I mean by a chewy checkout is when you're going through the supermarket and you look and you go, I really want a pack of chewy, I really want the half price Mars bar, I really want, not that I've ever done it, I really want the half price Turkish Delight. You go, I'm not going to feel it. If I take that item and put it in there, I'm not going to feel it when they add up all of my supermarket items. I'm going to really, really like having it. And so that's what a chewy checkout is. It's that little impulse shelf they put there to tempt us while we're waiting to have our groceries put through. Anyway, that's it. So we've got 4.5. So that one is, I love my 4.5. I seem to have a lot of sashing to cross cut and things that I love using that for, or small blocks. You can go down to a 3.5. He's kind of like a Goldilocks, because he's not too big, not too small. And then we've got a 2.5. This one's also fantastic for drawing in the darts if you do a lot of handbags that have darts at the bottom of your panels to create your base. And they all do it, but that one's particularly great for small blocks to use. I'm moving it and I shouldn't, sorry. So that one's also super duper. So I've just gone through and popped them all under Bunny for you to have a look. Creative Grids, it's not an impulse buy in the terms of they're not cheap and cheerful at all. They're beautiful quality and they are an investment to have a collection of them. So it's sort of like get one every now and then and add, so you've got everything you want sitting in a nice little box on the top of your sewing bench. I'm going to use this one this morning, and I'm going to use my 6.5 by 1.5 to do this. So beautiful instructions from Emma, and then award-winning diagrams from Cass all come together to make up these blocks. And what you need to do with these first is draw up almost like a little custom grid onto the strips that you are going to cut for the center of your flowers that are down through here. So I've actually got one already drawn up on my darkest pink, like this. Of course, I mean, I have to say it again, if you wanted to make this quilt, I have to say, if you want to make this quilt in under the Australian sun, because I have been asked, is totally achievable. Absolutely. It's easy to do. This here, you replace the whole centre block with a big waratah in the middle instead of the fussy cut pieces. We've got plenty of flowering gums and gum leaves to use out here. And again, you can cross cut your border stripe like we just talked about. Fussy cut a waratah in here. It's not going to have the same symmetrical look because Melba is stylized and Under the Australian Sun is botanical, true to life. But you will still get all of these beautiful mirror image effects happening with the border stripes. And if you cut all 4 of the waratahs or a kangaroo paw or something like that to go in here, you will still have symmetry, not just the stylized version of it. Now I'm mentioning that because someone wanted to do this quilt and make sure that her skirt piece were red. So she's using 5 different colours of reds instead of 5 different colours of pink. So that is why I wanted to mention it. But I've got one of mine cut here that I'm using, and it's already been drawn up. But I've got one of the paler ones here to show you as well, just with an iron-off pen so you can see how it's done to draw it up ready to use. So I'm going to switch over to here. Who have I missed this morning? Did I miss anyone? Oh my goodness, people are just arriving. Debbie. Thank you, Deb. I would like to think so. Oh, Fiona, happy Easter to you. And to everyone, good morning, Dell. Ha, Genevieve says my fave rulers. I know, they are. I mean, we're very lucky we get to play with them all in the shop, but they are really good. Okay, to draw this up, this is what Em's done to create this little angle, almost like a foundation piecing. We add 2 lines at the top. You know, I need one of these out here. Rob, can you take one of these out of stock? It's the 2.5-inch square.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. I can't not have one. That's just ridiculous. I've got one inside. So we do 2 lines at the top, or at each end, I should say. And if we run out, I'll get some more this week. So we do that first, and then we draw down each side. I get asked a lot of very thought-provoking questions, and I did get asked if there's a Farewell Melba tour, that's Melba exhibition, will there be a Farewell under the Australian Sun exhibition? Of course there will be. That'll be next year.
You should have 5 left.
Okay, well they're down on the... What have I got? 5 left. Okay, so we draw all of these little bits on. Can you see that? Let me just check. Like that. Actually, just stay there for a minute. I'll put the next one on. Now we're going to mark the center of the top line, or the outer line on each end. And then this cool thing happens, like that. We come through and we join up this line with the mark we've just done with an intersection down here. She's so clever. I'll do the other end too, and then I'll show it to you. Okay. There you go. So you can see what I've done here. We've marked the center on this line, and then we've drawn through the intersection down here. We've created out to the edge on both sides like that. Looks like a pencil, doesn't it? So she's literally given us a little grid to work with. Now I've got this one here also done in my chalk. I'm going to show you this though. I had a little boo-boo. There's 2 lines. There's 2 lines up here. And you know what was happening there? That was me using a big ruler, and I just went, this is just silly. I went down, got the small ones, tagged them for the show, and came back and fixed my error, if you like, on that one. Okay, so now we're going to pop one of our squares that we've cut underneath this here, like that. And then we're going to sew across this angled line that we have created. So you might be better with this lighter one. Is that better for you? It probably is. Let's pop that one there. There you go. That's easier for you to see. So we'll pop over to the sewing machine, which I very professionally just turned on. Didn't check it worked or anything. Didn't check there was a bobbin in. Sorry. So we're working blind. Also blind with no glasses on. Oh, my stool's tall. Is this from when I sat with Margaret? This must have been when I sat with Margaret. Or I did something. Okay, I feel like I want to do this one, but it's actually this one we need to do. There we go. Oh, phew, he's going to behave. Just remove a little bit of DNA from somebody that was sitting on my bench before. Fluff ball. Now in Em's instructions, she's mentioned doing all your sewing first and then cutting away the excess. Now, I'm not sure why, but we'll do what Emma says for now. Now, hey, the other thing too, I wanted to be able to do this and show you this morning quick, and I only had white chalk in my pencil. So I've done this with the Frixion. Now you know what that means. All my grid will iron off if I iron it now. So I've tagged the pencils. If you do need to grab one and you're working with this, you probably don't want to grab white. I would grab one of the green or blue ones instead, or some refills, so that you've got something that will stay on and you can iron in between. For me, I'm just having to do that because I would iron the whole lot off. So now I'm going to do the same to the other side. So I'm going to sit that there. And we're going to sew across this one on this side. Good morning, Jill. Oh my goodness, everybody, guess what, guess what, guess what? Jill was here. Jill was here. I know, all the way from the Blue Mountains. She came to visit. It was fantastic. So good. With Michael. Oh my goodness. I can't believe you were here now, Jill. It was one of those surreal moments. It was so nice to see you. Jill used to live down here and frequent our shop and everything when we were in the city, and then she left me. That was lovely. Of course, Jill was down for AQC, like a lot of people. So, including our lovely girls from the States. So now, can you see that? If I fold that back, look, there's the point for the center of our flower. Fab. So it's probably a really nice technique for, it's kind of like a mix of piecing and foundation piecing all together. So press that back. Now we can go to the back here and trim off all the excess. So you can see here we've got all this excess down here, and then we've got the excess at the top as well, and then we can go in and take out the excess underneath. All of this comes off as well, so there is a lot to trim. I have 5 of these sitting in the shop counter at the moment, so I grabbed all of them just to see which ones are still worthy of not having P for paper written on them. And we'll take that one off like that. Okay, so that gets rid of all of that bulk at the top. I think you probably could do them one at a time, but then I think Emma's done it for a reason, and it's all about stabilizing this top point. So we've got all of that. You can take excess off the top, and then if we turn this over on our board, we can trim up like that. Now you might say, this is really, is this extreme? Emma tried to do this many different ways, and I heard a lot of, there wasn't, she doesn't curse, but I heard a lot of like carumbas going on. And there we have our point. All right, so that's our point for the top of our skirt piece. So you're going to do that on both ends, and then it's a case of coming through, and I'm going to iron this one now. I'm going to lose my grid at the top, but that's fine now. Give that a little press. There we go. So now we've got this together. There is a piece to go on the top, and I think it's this one, and then there is also a piece to go on the bottom, which is going to be one of these ones. So they will get sewn on to there, all right, and then that will be the completion of your centerpiece. You will then add a sashing to each side. So it is all little stuff, so that's why, I mean, this will all fit together once I've pasted it, obviously, in here. But that's why it's really important to get your seams super precision style while you're doing your checkerboard here, because you're going to need them to be super perfect here as well. Sorry, but you are. So that they all match. And you'll be able to measure it as you go. Make sure you're really happy with it. Once you've got this center piece done, then you'll move on to the side pieces, which are of the flowers, which are just our normal little cut off triangles. So with these, I'm going to come through and draw on. Now again, I have to go fixing on for you because I've only got my white chalk here. And if you've got the pattern as well, I get these ideas and I just have to get them out. Twisted knitting bag pattern. Rob. Hi. In the basket that Ginny sleeps in, under the thread table, there's a Melba twisted knitting bag.
Yep.
If you could grab that for me. It's probably covered in Ginny. Is that it? Yeah, that one. Thank you. I just want to show the girls as an idea. So this band that we've got happening across here, if you wanted to use it in a different way, on a cushion or on a... oh, that's really bad. All right, that's over. She can't have that anymore. I've got to get this looking good first. I'm going to have to wash it now. So just don't look at the hair. So see this strip down through here? So you could actually replace that with this. So if you've got any leftover border stripe when you've finished your quilt, which you will, you could actually make a row of these and pop them into your bag here where the pin tuck, twisted pin tucks are, and then have border stripe top and bottom. But you could also do them in red, and then you could run your Under the Australian Sun stripe top and bottom with this one as well. I did not realise that is so bad. Yeah. Luckily, Soft and Stable is our rubber foam batting. It is washable.
We'll hose it down.
Hose it down. I'm thinking vacuum to start with. Yeah, maybe. But you can, so you can use this any way you want to and do it in reds and things. All right, so now I've got these. We're going to pop one on this corner here across and sew it on, and then we're going to pop one on the other corner. Let me just put us back to the front page. All right, so we'll just quickly go across and pop these on. So have you got a big day planned today? I don't know. I've got a big day planned tomorrow. For those of you, or if you've read your newsletter, Priscilla is here from Guatemala, so she has been teaching and lecturing at the Australasian Quilt Convention. And then she spent some lovely days with Gloria, you know Gloria, down the Bellarine Peninsula. And I met them there on Thursday. They came across on the ferry from Queenscliff. And we've just had a lovely couple of days together, just hanging out here. Priscilla getting to know the area we now live in, because of course we lived in Beaumaris last time she was here. 19 years ago. I thought it was 18, but it's evidently 19. And so that's been really lovely. We went up to the Nuji pub for lunch yesterday. I've got one of these on this end. I'm going to trim away the excess at the back. And we went to the Taronga Falls and saw the Trestle Bridge. If you're local, you'll know where we've been. So we're going to fold that one back. And then we need one that's going to do this on the opposite corner. So we'll pop this one on. And then today is pretty much, we're going to film a special little interview, podcasty thing, a chat, let's call it a chat, with Priscilla for our Quilters Life members that are unable, for whatever reason, most of it geological, that they can't be with us tomorrow. So Quilters Life members get to get up close and personal with Priscilla tomorrow with a little chat with her and lunch on us. So that's happening here tomorrow. And if you are coming and you're in the club, then please get here kind of on 12 o'clock because we want to start Priscilla's talk very soon after that. And while Priscilla's doing that, we'll be serving up lunch and everyone can have a chat. I know a lot of you that are coming have not been here since our first open day, which we did with the Quilters Life members exactly to the day a year ago. So you'll be able to see what Rob and I have been up to since then. So there we go. That's one of these petals. Let's go across and have a look at it with the other pieces. Oh, now I've done half pink, half dark pink. Well, that's not really good, is it? Let's just put this one back over here for a minute. So that, if we had a mixed flower, that would be half of that there. Let me just give it an iron. I think with these sort of pieces, and a bit like my diamond border, which I've got ready to go for my weekend at Melbas, it really is one of those things, if you have them all set up ready to go, sometimes you just have that, oh, I don't need to leave for 5 minutes. Oh, I've got 5 minutes until the pasta's cooked. That's my favourite. Oh, I've got 10 minutes before my TV show starts. All of that, and you can just pop into the sewing room or sit down at the table where you've got it set up and just whiz through a few of them so they're then ready to sit and trim when you're sitting in front of the telly in the doctor's surgery. I do it. It happens. And keep going, and then it doesn't feel like such a repetitive task. So that's going to go there. Let's have a look at it on the quilt. So those little pieces I showed you, that's one of those little bits on there. So you'll do 4 of these for each flower, and there's 20 flowers in total, hence the amount of little 1.5 inch squares you need to cut, because you use a lot of them in different places. You're going to use 8 of them on these outer petals, and then you also use one down the base here. There's a few of those to do. So that's that little bit there. And I mean, this shape is just so cool. You can use these to, if you make up 4 or 5 of these and start having a play with them, you get some really cool little pinwheel things going on. So it's a nice little, just a nice little technique to add to your collection with those. So have some fun with your Sturt P borders. You might like to just grab the pattern for now and see what you've got in your stash to use. You could replace the outer border with some bias work, some applique, anything. You really could. I just like all the techniques that Emma has incorporated into the pattern, and they're quite unique in their way because she wanted to create this lovely stylized effect with the Sturt P blocks to complement the stylized Melba border. So I will divulge, because I'm not very good at keeping secrets. The Melba design itself will be reused, so I will be using it again next year for a an English, I'm going to say UK themed collection. So where the Waratahs are, these will become beautiful big thistles. We're going to have roses, we're going to have Celtic knots, we're going to have lots of different inspiration. So it will be almost like an Elizabethan, if you like, collection. So if you like this kind of pattern and you're a bit sad that this is over, or think about it, don't worry, it'll be, it's coming back. It'll be back next year. I'm just starting to work on that now. We have to work so far ahead because this gorgeous factory has got the hybrid printing of both digital and metallic that I'm going to use, that Jason periodically uses for his collections. It's getting very, very busy, so I have to do the designs earlier and book the printing in much earlier than I did for my first one that's coming out this year, which is Japanese. So, kind of a bit excited. Bit excited to be back designing fabric and playing with Jason. It's all fun. All right, and with that in mind, we can't move on to the next lot until we have said goodbye properly to Melba. And look, we're calling it the Farewell Melba exhibition because it's going to finish, but it will be a lovely celebration of quilts all made sort of with the same, made with the same fabric featured in them. A little bit like when we did our Australian textile exhibitions at the Botanic Gardens for 9 years, that everything was different, but there was a common thread that pulled the whole exhibition together because they were all made with Australian prints or an Australian theme to them. And that's why the setting at the Australian Botanic Gardens was so perfect to do that in. So with what we're doing with this exhibition, I'm hoping that we'll have that same sort of Art Nouveau feel to it, but made with lots of different projects that have all got a little bit of Melba in them. So I want to do something that shows off the effect that we've been able to create over the last 10 years by having in both colour stories, in Nouveau and in Australis, having the same flowers printed on a dark background or a light background. So it was either grey and ivory with the pinks or black and cream with the oranges and the greens in here. And one of the quilts we did was the Melba Kaleidoscope, which was lots and lots of fun, and I had fun travelling around teaching. When it first came out, a big quilt where we played with fussy cutting from this into a big octagonal circle medallion. So what I want to do this time round though is use our designer block wedge to create some pointed Dresdens. So this is little guy, we've been playing with him a lot lately, and I've realised I need to do this quick before they're gone so that I can decide if we make some more or not. We'll just see how this works. I can pop this over, can you see that? So I've got him over one of the, I'm sorry about the lights, because I've got great big lights now, that's a bit better, that Nick put in up top, but I want to be able to cut this and then use it to create my pointed Dresden. But when, let me put it over here so you can see a bit better. I just have to be really mindful. I haven't done it yet, I just had a quick play before you joined me this morning. So this sits, if I sit it here, then what happens is I will get a point up the top because we fold it in half and sew across this top here. So I need to allow that seam allowance up here, and then it will fold down into a point. So I need to make sure, I'll probably go down a bit, that I allow enough up the top here for this point to happen. So I'm going to, let's have a go with one of these. So at the moment I've got the points of the outer petals on the waratah sitting flush on the edge, and we'll get that little bit down the bottom and we'll have room up here. Now what's going to happen though is usually we use this as it is and it includes the seam allowance, but I want to get more of my flower in, so all I'm going to do is add an extra seam allowance down each side. I don't need to do the top, I'm pretty sure I've got enough up here, and I won't need to do the bottom down here, but I need to add to the sides. So I think we're okay to do that, and I'll still end up with the same angle that will join them all together in the end. So let's have a play and see how we go. I'll unfold this like that, and I'm going to work from the back because I want to draw this on so I can still see all my petals and everything here on the back, and I'll make sure that's lined up. I'm going to use a Sharpie, I think, so that you can see it for now, and I am working on black with this one. So I'm going to draw that on like that. Okay, and I'll take him off, and then I want another one. So I'm going to, oh, can you see the problem? Can you see that problem there? Look, I'm going to cut over into the next one. Let's just go back and have another look, because if I can line this up so it sits in the middle of these little coria flowers here, I can flip my template and use on the other side. Otherwise it's going to be really wasteful, isn't it? Let's do that. I'm going to move it down. And so now we'll just, this is, I'm taking one for the team, okay, so you don't have to do it to see if it works. I'll I'll check it first and before you have a go. And then we literally can do this. Flip over, line up my template with the middle of the Coria flowers again, and go down. It just sits over the green tip on the flannel flower at the other end. Like that. And then we get 2 out of here. So that's all fine. Well, now we need to add a 1/4 inch seam. As I said, I want an extra down each side. And all this will do, it'll make the circle or the section in the middle bigger. It just pushes it out, if that's a term we can use. And the great thing about fussy cutting these prints is everything that's left is kind of usable to do other things and still fussy cut from, because it's not a large design, it's a medium design. Okay, so let's just make sure that we're good with this, because yeah, look, see, we've got plenty of room to come through and repeat that. So we'll be able to run right down this line of design, and then if we need more of them, it's only, there's the first lot there, sorry, that's the first lot there, this is the second lot. So it's just going to be this section down through here that we're not using, and we'll be able to find another use for that. So we just want these 2 for now off this one. I'm going to cut rather than rotary cut so that I'm not wasting any of that section in the middle. We can use for something else. It might end up being an alternative block in between my pointed Dresdens. Maybe with some, I don't know, some little stars. We'll see. Something will come to me. These scissors are borderline. They're borderline paper scissors. There we go. So I've got my 2 out, and then I can just come through and cut them in half. And there they are. So they're identical. Right, now just to show you the effect that I'm trying to create here, we'll open this up. We're going to do exactly the same, but this time from the pale one. Now I went down the block, I went across the width, didn't I? So I'm going to do exactly the same in case there's a little bit of variation in the weft and weave. So we'll just do one of these. I've tagged these fabrics this morning, and I have double checked. I have 27 meters left of the black. I have a little more of the cream orange. It's only available now to Chandlers Cottage people, but if you did want some, please grab it, because if this works, I will probably snaffle a lot of what's left for kits to make up this project. I didn't do that very well. It's that line, which I would then probably take to the exhibition. Okay, so I've just added on that 1/4 inch on each side, and we'll cut this one out. Good morning, Lois. Thank you very much. I just want to check this because it was a bit... Yeah, we're pretty good. It's pretty good. It'll demonstrate what I want to show you. You see what I was doing wrong. I was doing it on the soft surface of my wool mat so you could see it up close, but it really needed to be on a nice hard surface to get that super accurate. Okay, with each of these now, we're going to fold over and sew across the ends on them. Hi, Jen. Where have you been? Are you coming up? Puss, puss. So just a little fold there. I'm not sure, I'm not really convinced they need pinning. Uh-oh, here it comes. Hi. So we'll do all three. Do not sit on the... Okay, she's coiled up on the ironing mat because it's warm. Smart cat. You will want to get nice and close to the fold. You'll see why in a tick. And one more. Pointed Dresdens were one of the first things that I learnt how to do. And I thought they were, for piecing, I thought they were fantastic. Fluff ball, you're in the way. Glasses. So, we'll just trim these little bits off. So now, thanks. You've got your own mat up there. Go up there. Alright, so now what we're going to do is open up this little seam in here, give it a nice little press with your fingers and then flip him through like that. There you go. And that's worked out quite nicely. Probably have a little bit of a tweak there, just a little bit of a tweak. So I've got the same amount of the orange showing. There's just a little tip of orange there. So we'll give that a press like that. I've moved. I was impatient. There we go. So there's one. Straight after today's show as well, I'll pop up the one for Wednesday night. I've popped up next Friday. So next Friday morning, we will be kicking off Anzac Day after dawn, when we get back from dawn service, with a little boutique sale. And there's a whole little story behind that. I'll share that with you on Wednesday night. So we'll be kicking that off in the morning, and then we will be open so that you can visit. This one is way off. What have I done? Oh my goodness. You know how I said I thought I had cut it wrong? I had cut it wrong. Oh well. We won't waste our time today. A lot of you have got to get hot cross buns in the oven, a roast in the oven. But yes, we'll be open next Friday on Anzac Day. So I'm going to do a show first, and then we will be open. I think I put 10 till 3. So you're most welcome to come. I'm going to cook a huge batch of Anzac biscuits, so whoever comes can have a complimentary cuppa in an Anzac bicky. I'm hoping it's a really lovely day, so you can enjoy sitting outside. If it's a nice day, bring a blanket if you want to sit in the garden, whatever you want to do, and we'll have our little sale and be open for you to visit. Alright, so there you go. This is what I'm trying to create, so we get this kind of kaleidoscope effect with Fussy cutting down our pointed Dresdens from each one. I'm just going... That is a shocker, that middle ivory one, but I'm just going to come through and sew 2 of these together so you can see how it works. Remember when we were fussy cutting and sewing the center for our Midnight Melba medallion? You want to be doing the same thing this time round and matching up all of the motifs on each side. You know what, I'm going to leave that chunky cream one and I'm going to do these 2 to show you. But the effect is that you can have like a light dark, light dark, light dark around, and it all works together because the flowers are the same color. So that's what I'm going to be doing when I have a decent ivory pointed Dresden wedge. There we go. So we'll just go and sew these across so you can see how it works. And I think that might be quite nice to do. And then we'll do a nice big circle in the middle. I'm piecing these 2 by machine, but I do love sewing these together by hand as well. And one of the reasons is that you can hide your knot when you start sewing up underneath that top fold on the Dresden point so that you can't see it. Alright, let's go and have a look. We'll just see how close I got, doing it very quick and ad hoc with you. There you go. Not too bad. So you can see now we're going to end up with quite a large circle in the middle of this one, and that I think is where we will have a large maybe black background, and then use the leftovers to piece some fussy cut little star flowers or something in the middle. But you can see also, if I was to start piecing in these ones, we'd go light dark right round, and we get a really gorgeous effect with that as well. So I'm going to start on that. That will be one of the things that I do for the exhibition. I want to do some really different things, and what's important is too that whatever I do, because there will be no more fabric, they have to be things that I would like to have in my home, or perhaps Mum would like in hers, or that I will give to a friend, or we'll just have hanging for posterity here in the shop shed. So yeah, so that's what I'll be working on, and so that's mid-September. I'll give you the dates now, so if you want to just pop them in your diary, you can, because I don't know them off by heart yet. They are locked in. They are the 12th, 13th and 14th of September at the Anglican Church Hall in Druin. So just make a little note, and then we'll get really serious and stuck in over those winter months. So we'll get it all set up late May, and then we'll be good to go. You'll be able to get ready, and you'll be able to pop in your pieces that you would like to exhibit. Anything from a pin cushion or a tiny purse right up to a big quilt would be what we are going to exhibit. So I'll leave that with you to have a look. Kathy, good morning to you. She's going to watch a little bit later. That's all lovely. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Judy. Thank you, Chris. Oh, that's really nice. So take care, won't you? I'm going to let you get on with your Easter Sunday, and I'm not judging anyone that knocks off a lot of chocolate today, but I'm going to get ready now and just film a little interview with my mate Priscilla. And for those of you coming tomorrow to the Quilters Life event, I look forward to seeing you then. All right, thanks everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Easter. Okay, bye.